Welcome back to Delta Green, the dawn of the new age, part 3, where I'm sure nothing can go wrong. We are Myth Machine, and we are in the 1990s experiencing the OG Delta Green scenarios. So far, no player character has actually died while being played by a character. Did I just jinx everyone?
Better not have.
That would be funny, actually.
Yeah.
He came back and we were all dead.
Poor Derringer. Yeah, he's not here today, unfortunately, because he's busy with real life, apparently. I don't know what this fabled real life is, but apparently it's out there and you can get busy with it. So, that's the situation. This show is rated R for cosmic horrors. So far, we've had a lot of body horror, a string of murders with strange exsanguination. We've had six magic. We've had bodies melting, I guess, from the inside. And some other things like that. So, be warned. Delta Green is a place where agents join, can never leave, and will eventually see their mind and body break down over time. That's just how it is when you are part of a cell. This is Z-Cell, and who do we have with us this time in Z-Cell?
I'll go first, I guess. I'm Briar, and I'm playing Dr. Alex Blair.
Indeed.
My name is Cal, and I will be playing Special Agent Jacqueline Morgan.
Jacqueline Morgan. And
I'm Harper, and I will be playing Cora Phryne Talbot.
yeah. And long may they live and prosper. But this is not Star Trek, so we can't really expect them to, can we? We've been off the air for a little while because schedules and summers and stuff. Hopefully Darian will be back next week. A brief summary of what happened last time. You infiltrated Enolsis Foundation in its headquarters in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So we're now in the West, properly, on the plains, on the prairies, where everything is flat. Except in Tulsa, because there are houses that rise up from the ground to make it... I mean, the ground is still flat, but yeah. And this is the heart of Enolsis in the world. This strange foundation that is built on finding your inner light, somehow. Which I'm sure is not suspicious at all. What happened in the St. Louis chapter in Missouri was surely not any kind of reflection on the main organization, headed by the living power Gene Downing, who, if you recall, told you all that a sign would be coming, that a new age is going to rise. And shortly after that, NASA reported that there was a new astronomical body entering the solar system, and it behaved in kind of weird ways in terms of radio signals coming from it, and in terms of its gravity and trajectory, and the weirdness that not everybody had seen it. Like, the astronomers had not seen it until it was in fact inside the solar system. They should have been spotted outside it. But it wasn't. And your objective here at Enolsis is... yeah, what is your objective? It's to track down any potential link between this announcement and the Enolsis Foundation, because ACell got a little bit paranoid over the fact that you shut down the chapter of Enolsis in St. Louis, Missouri, and then literally 3 days after, Gene Downing, the living power, announces the coming of a new age, and then NASA, a few hours after that, announces their thing. Now, what have you found out about Enolsis Foundation so far? feel free to summarize as a refresher for yourself and for the audience.
Aliens come into our night and our sleep, and they take us, and they steal minutes of our lives.
You did sleep over at Enolsis, and the next day your clocks were all wrongly set. Like the clocks had your watches had stopped, and or stopped. You don't know about stopped. It was just set at the wrong time, like compared to the rest of the world. So yeah, lost time is classic ufologist indication of alien interference. This is true. Well, I mean, it's true that it's a trope of ufologism.
Yeah, but didn't we have Blair do a psychotherapy check and Morrigan remembered alien?
We had that. We're gonna in fact delve into that. I just wanted to go over all the other things that you might have found out in Enolsis before that. You spent a bit of time now inside the compound. It's big enough to have... They have their own fields, they make their own food, they have agricultural research, they have plenty of meditations. They are clearly a bit stoked about the whole idea of this... the bringer or the herald that they call this thing in space right now. You've briefly met with Gene Downing, and you've also met with the stewards, who are of strangely model-like beauty. And a bit unemotional, maybe? Like
I doubt they're human.
Yeah, I heard last time Talbot making speculations about whether, or was it Darien, about whether they are, like Hope, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you had that much trouble with one Hope in St. Louis, how much trouble are you going to have with these ones? After having spent... I mean, aside from that, also the compound has like almost 100 people, including kids who go to school here. It's not an easy place to raid or to commit federal violence or Delta Green style violence in, because there are literally kids around, which makes it a bit more iffy. On the other hand, we also don't know anything about what you might want to commit violence against at this point.
Bold of you to assume we care about kids.
Yes, that is bold of me to ask. Yeah, fair enough. I have been... See, I'm telling you, this show is rated R. You also know about the Great Pyramid that is on campus, and that is like the meeting hall for the Living Power, which is basically a fancy name for a soundstage. But apparently the Living Power lives in the top of the pyramid in his own apartments there. You haven't been able to get in there yet, so we'll see how that goes. But yes, during the night you had some kind of event happening. Nobody remembers anything from it. Only that you woke up in the morning with a bit of a cold sweat. All of you, but particularly Morrigan, who was literally screaming herself awake, losing several sanity points for apparently no reason. And now Blair is using her psychotherapy to discover, maybe guide her through whatever trauma it might have been that gave her this shock, that the experience she went through that gave her the trauma that her body and subconscious at least remember, but you have no conscious memories of it. It's like you went through something horrifying, but there's just a blankness in your mind, Morrigan. As this session begins, you're focusing on your therapist's voice. It's slow. Blair is doing this work. Their voice is slow, even guiding. The room is quiet, except for, well, you'll have the incense. You'll have the light coming from various soft lightning sources in the. It's one of the meditation chambers. There's plenty of them. You're grounded. Safe. Blair asks you to go back to the night before, the night in your room. You remember lying down, the hum of the air vent, like you're closing your eyes. This is like a cognitive interview, if you will. The faint scent of antiseptic, and then a hiss. It's not loud, but it's sharp, like gas escaping a pipe. Something fills your nose. It doesn't smell floral, more like fruit left too long in the sun. Your limbs grow heavy, and the edges of your vision fuzz and blur. You're fighting it off. You're getting out of bed, your cold feet hitting the floor in your little dormitory room. You have to really focus on your hands to make your fingers move. And even as you do that, the door to your dorm room opens up and you hear some kind of soft pop. And then a momentary, maybe it's like a mosquito sting or something in your thigh. And at that point, time and space starts to distort. You don't really feel anything anymore. You can't move. You're just falling over, like you're that your eyes are that camera that just falls to the floor and you can't affect it. You can't even move your fingers anymore. There's movement near your bed, shadows, silhouettes of people. And then you are moving. You can't feel that you're moving anymore because you can't feel anything, but you are moving. Your heart starts racing in real time now, even though in the memory your body couldn't really respond. Your mind sinks, and then it's just black. For a moment. Replaced by light. Cold, greenish, not electric. Strange. You're no longer in your bed. You're strapped down. These are not metal restraints. You can feel them vaguely, numbly. Your entire body is numb. It's like when you get to, frozen in the dentist, but over your entire body. Like, you can feel maybe something poking, but you can't feel any pain from it. These restraints, they're more like tendons, maybe. Organic? The surface beneath you is warm, and it's pulsing. Like a heartbeat. But it's too slow to be human. Above you, silhouettes. Distorted. Of some kind of things that are moving. You can't fixate on any of them. They're just shadows in your mind. There's tubes filled with some kind of faintly glowing ichor There's the glint of metal from surgical instruments. Is it surgical instruments? You don't know. It's some kind of tools made of metal. You hear a buzzing sound. Lights flicker. Yellow, green, red, orange, blue. And then there's pressure. It's not pain, it's awareness. You can feel the top of your scalp opening up, like peeling back. You know this. You can't see it, but you remember it happening to you. And then something unscrews your skull like a jar lid. There is a sensation of air where no air should be. Your brain exposed. Something is in it. There is no body to scream with. And then nothing. Black. And then that's it. The next thing you remember is waking up in your bed in the dormitory. Your clothes are undisturbed, the door is locked, no sign of a struggle. You're touching your head, there's nothing wrong with it. Only now, unlike this morning, you remember that they took your brain and they put it back.
They took my brain. Oh my god, they took my brain. They put it back. That's so not cool.
Blair, what is your
Brain.
I was thinking maybe we could ask Magic Google a few questions first, but ACell has been really hesitant to help us in the past, so I don't know if asking for help from them is gonna do anything. I'm not gonna shoot you, Morgan. You're my friend.
Well, nothing we could do about it right now. In the immediately, we should go figure out what the hell is up with this place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Make some phone calls or not?
Definitely just weird.
They took your brain.
They took my brain and they put it back.
And they put it back.
I'm putting that in the quotes chat.
I've never been so
Yes.
disrespected in my life. Not even after that one guy poured bathroom water on me.
Yeah, I guess the whole why you screamed when you woke up suddenly makes sense, doesn't it?
Well, yes.
Speaking of
100%.
which, now that you have recovered part of this, let's see, Blair, why don't you roll a medicine check for us here as you are investigating your patient?
Yeah, there it is.
Well, that works.
Yay.
Well, as you are investigating your patient here and, checking, some people can have memories are not necessarily reliable, right? Eyewitness testimony, not always reliable. So, confirm and so on, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't know how this is. No, you do know how this is, don't you? You've seen this before. In Groversville. Remember the
Ooh.
the almost non-existent scar tissue on that kid who had the muscles in his arms and legs replaced?
Yeah.
Yeah, that very, very fine line that you could hardly see without, a microscope because the strange substance was used to as a bonding agent for healing purposes, apparently. Yeah, there is the same here, the same fine line around Morrigan's skull.
Oh no. Oh, it's not good.
I
So
feel
he
like this
really
is a
did
good
take my
moment
brain and
for.
put it back.
I feel like this is a good moment for Blair to roll a sanity check against the unnatural, honestly. Well,
Oh,
I'm
come
not going to
on.
be too harsh. How about that? Oh, that's fine. You're good, aren't you?
Oh, fine.
Just a single sanity point lost. Yeah, Blair, would you want to express your reaction when you find confirmation of Morrigan's story?
I think all she mutters is, oh no. And it's internally she's panicking, wondering if Morgan's really is compromised. And if so, if they're gonna have to do something more drastic.
Can we
Blair really doesn't want to lose somebody else.
try the fever method? Something. Just don't let another one die, please.
I think for now, I'm
Tell
just
Addie
gonna
I
keep
love
an
her.
eye. I'm just gonna keep an eye on Morgan and
Mm-hmm.
make sure there's no. I guess make sure nothing odd happens.
You saw what happened to DeLuca. We can't afford to wait. We need to do something. Please.
We would have to bring her to a hospital, and I'm not sure how we're gonna explain.
You're
I
a
suppose we
doctor.
can. Well, I don't know what's going on internally. I would have to open up Morgan to see, but I can't do that in here. And I don't have the medical equipment to safely do that.
Then let's get to the field office. Something, please.
So
Can't.
going to Tulsa, like the city, and going to a medical facility and doing some brain surgery, basically. That's what you're suggesting. Or a CAT scan or something.
Something. We
Yeah.
can't afford to let another person die.
Look, I am really touched by your concern, but if I'm going to be compromised and it's going to be and it becomes drastic, I really won't blame you if you and have to deal with it in the way that you have to. Just tell Addie I love her
No,
if you
you're
meet
gonna
her.
tell Addie that. Besides, this could be more of us. It could just, we could all be compromised, and only Morrigan could remember it. We need the reagents. Oh,
For now, let's just get to a hospital and inform them that we believe somebody operated on Morgan without her consent, and there are what seems to be surgical lines, and see if we can get a scan.
Talbot, I'd like you to roll a sanity check too.
oh no!
Well, that didn't work.
No, it really didn't. Could have been worse though.
Yeah, could have been worse.
It could have been worse. But, as it turns out, you both failed, and you both lose a single sanity point. Unfortunately, this sanity point is to helplessness, which means that we now check the third check mark for your adapted to helplessness metric. And that has some consequences for both of you. As you're getting used to the awfulness, both of you will immediately roll a d6, and that's how many permanent points you will lose from power. Just from the whole sense of good for you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, you all have been very lucky today.
Yes, very much so.
Just from the overwhelming sense of what are we but small gnats in the world.
If somebody could just so easily snatch up any one of us and take our brains out, put it back. Are we but toys?
Are you but toys?
Specks of dust.
For
Specks of dust in the vast expanse
of a much larger world? How can mere humans do anything against this darkness? But as it turns out, Talbot and Blair have steeled themselves for this, haven't they? So there might be feelings of stress, anxiety, pulse racing. We need to do something, but there's also determination underneath it, isn't it? For both Talbot and Blair. We're gonna help Morgan somehow. We're gonna straighten this out. We're gonna do something.
Yes. This
Yes.
isn't. We're not gonna let this get out of hand like we did with DeLuca or Spivey or his girlfriend. We're not gonna do that again.
Where are we going? Are we going to the city then?
Yep.
Very well. Back to Tulsa. The time as you were doing all this was, in fact, the late afternoon evening of this Monday. So, yeah, we're gonna arrive at, well, downtown Tulsa. I'm assuming Fenton will come with also. He's been spending the day in the library, and I don't see any reason why he shouldn't. Nobody's trying to stop you from leaving, for whatever reason. So, we're gonna end up in a hospital again, aren't we? Is that the first place we're going? I mean, it sounds like it. And this time, the person in the bed will in fact be Morgan, not like the other three. It's a direct reversal of how it was last time.
Y'all just standing there sipping coffee while I'm just watching.
Exactly like that.
I like to think Fenton's doing a little idle animation just in the corner.
I think Fenton is going to be very relieved to not be at the compound anymore. I'm going to roll. Because he's not here, I can do that. Well, that was a failure. I rolled his intelligence. I failed. Talbot and Blair, if you want to roll your intelligence, I'm going to allow you to.
Might as well. Intelligence.
Heck yeah, I've still got my brain.
You still got your brain. And so does Blair, apparently. You remember when you were in Groversville, you got that little spray bottle thing to detect the substance. It would turn purple, right? I don't remember if you brought that to Tulsa or not. And in that case, the last known location for it would be St. Louis. Because I do remember that you brought it to St. Louis, but you never used it.
I'm assuming we brought it with us and didn't just leave it in the hotel room.
Yeah, because
Well,
we
there
would
is
have
a
had to.
there's a green
pack
box
up.
in St. Louis. You could have dropped it in, but yeah, maybe you brought it. So, yeah, it's a thing. It exists, and given the similarity of the scars, I just thought I should remind you that you have that spray bottle. Don't know if you intend to use it.
Oh, definitely right now.
On what?
On Blair's head.
On Blair's
My head.
Scars.
Oh no,
Yeah.
my
right.
beautiful invaded
She-
cranium.
Any... No, not you. We know you're infected, but Blair.
Okay. The spray comes into your, I don't know if you take it on the face or on the forehead or whatever, but oh look, there's a purple line around the scalp.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Compromise.
Oh, fuck no. Can I do it to Fenton?
Absolutely.
Okay. Purple line?
Yep.
Oh no.
Fuck!
Me?
Yep.
Oh, what the fuck? We're fucked.
Oh gosh, no! Good.
So Brian Fenton is going to roll sanity twice, once for Talbot and once for Blair. He might have to roll for himself too, honestly. Yeah, why not? He has not been adapted to helplessness yet. So let's see. For Blair, well, that's a critical failure. So still
Yikes.
just 1 point lost. For Talbot, he's fine. For himself, he will actually succeed because he is adapted to violence. So he won't actually suffer from that. It's the realization that someone has done things to you, like violent things to you without your consent. Anesthetics or no. Talbot, you will have to roll for nobody, because you ain't got no bonds with these people.
Which is ironic, but yeah.
Which is ironic. Blair does have a bond to Talbot and Fenton. So, Blair, roll sanity checks for helplessness for both of them, please. Oh, you're already adapted to the helplessness. Doesn't matter. You don't have to roll.
Good.
Yeah, I guess we have Z-Cell standing here in the hospital and just kind of those purple lines appearing around your skull as you spray, and looks of shock and horror on faces. And then
They're all
what?
cooked. Well, whatever results we'll find here, will probably tell us of how long we have until we have to shoot each other. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Is Z-Cell compromised? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But let's hold off on calling ACell.
Depends on
just
whatever
yet.
we find in our brain bits.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
have an idea. Hold on. If we do find out we're compromised, what if we, say, made a deal with some being instead of reporting this to ACell? They don't need to know. We
Are
can
you
walk away
already in
alive.
debt?
Well, I'm in.
Thank you.
Survival
Stop it, it's
kicks
always
in. Survival instincts.
Yeah.
What, you're gonna join the cult?
If it keeps us alive. I mean, I was more thinking another deal with Alziz, but if the cult is also willing, I could have like a bidding war for my soul.
I'm not sure your soul is that valuable. But who knows?
But it is. Because I have undying loyalty.
Interesting choice of
I
words,
am-
for sure.
I am a cat.
Mm. Is Z-Cell going to be
That is
turned
smart.
against Delta Green? Oh my god.
We gotta turn traitor. Join the alien cult. Hey.
Well, we don't know
You
yet
think?
the extent of this
Wait.
situation here. So, Blair, why don't you roll a medicine check as you're conducting the CAT scan on Morgan? Because clearly, I mean, you have medical credentials, so signing off on it's going to take a while. You have to get into the hospital. You have to go, like, this is a federal how are you going to get access to emergency medicine for Morgan here? That's basically the long and the short of it. And to do that, of course, requires some paperwork, you need an operating theater, you need stuff. You need nurses. You can't do it alone. This is... Also, I don't know that you're a brain surgeon, so maybe you need to have a brain surgeon with you in the room. It's just a bunch of stuff here to get done.
Yeah.
So... what do we have planned here to get done?
I don't think Blair alone needs to do the CAT scan. I think it's now that we know we've all have the line, she's probably going to go off a report that all 4 of them have been medically operated on without any of our consent, which...
Well, you're gonna... so that's to the medical authority then, obviously, like the hospital.
Yeah.
Very well. And it's part of a federal investigation, apparently? Or are we waving the credentials around? Because if you do that, there might be a review. Like, your special agent in charge in the FBI might get a call from the hospital asking questions. And since you're not here on an official FBI mission, you're here on a Delta Green mission, but this time you don't have FBI cover with you for the first time ever.
Yeah, she's not gonna wave her bat around. She's just gonna mention that they are FBI agents. We're off the clock.
Okay.
We'll just say off the clock, and we just need to check in because, well, I'm assuming it is a crime too.
So
Operating.
you want to do basically off the books major surgery with no questions asked. That's what we're asking for. Which is of course a major expense, right?
Yeah.
So let's see. Major expense, and we want to use this. Is this going to be an official requisition? Because typically there will be a review, definitely an official review after what you're doing is done. If you're requesting this from, like, if you want, because surgery like this does not come for free.
Yeah.
Right? Not even in other countries does it come for free, because lo and behold, you're very surprised to hear that the operating room costs money to maintain, the equipment costs money to maintain, and salaries have to be paid. We're shocked, yes. These nurses and surgeons, they have patients to attend to, and their time is very valuable. So there are two ways you can do this, basically. You can either submit a formal FBI request to the hospital, and if you manage to get that accelerated, it's still going to take a few days to get it completed. There will be a review from your special agent in charge if you try to do so. And the modifier to succeed with this request, which is a bureaucracy roll, is a -20 because of how extreme it is. If you want to pay out of your own money, then, well, you'd have to go into heavy debt because we're talking about, $100,000 worth of surgery. So you have to either make an intelligence ×5 or a counting test. It's your choice. If it succeeds, the stress reduces each of your agent's non-Deltarian bonds by 1. If it fails, it reduces them by a D4 and the Deltarian bonds by 1. So that's a problem. There is also, a black market. There is also trying to pull connections, calling in a favor. If you have a bond with someone in a position of authority... Do you have a bond in someone in a position of the right authority here?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. You have dad, mom... Well, your dad is also a doctor, so that could work if you talk to your dad. Talbot doesn't have anyone with that type of authority. Fenton also not, because his guys are academic people. Morgan, you have bonds with people who have nothing to do with the medical profession. So the only one who has any type of bond like this is, in fact, Blair. So for that, if you want to talk to Dad, it would have to be a charisma ×5 check, and the bond will be reduced by 1 if you succeed. If it fails, you don't get the service that you want, and the bond is reduced by a D4. And it's still going to take a while to set things up. So, just to give you the options here, mechanically, because this is not going to be a straightforward... We're not talking about setting a bone, or stitching up a bullet wound, or, a slash from a knife here. We're talking opening someone's skull to see what might have happened inside. That is not small potatoes.
Are you sure we can't just do a scan?
Yeah, CAT scan is much easier to do. You just write out a requisition for it, and it's going to be done. It's not particularly difficult. It's once again a question of, whose insurance is going to cover this, which might, again, come back to review. What do you want to do here, Blair?
I think you should do the scan.
Yeah, I think for now the scan is the best option.
Yeah, scan is not
Honestly,
terribly
I've
complicated.
been operated on
comparatively.
against my will, so we do have a reason for it.
Let's call it an unusual request, because it's a CAT scan, and it's not like...
It's not invasive brain surgery.
It's not invasive brain surgery, but it's also not 5 stitches in an arm. So, it's not something you're going to clear in an emergency waiting room where someone cut themselves a bit. That's... They needed to see the nurse, and the nurse came in and gave them a sticker afterwards. So, still a bit of an unusual expense. So, for that, yeah, regular bureaucracy check. If you manage to accelerate the time here, it would take a day or 2 to get it cleared. Because, of course, you have to schedule the room where the CAT scan is and things like that.
Yeah, okay.
So still might need to review if you fail your charisma. I remember that Z-Cell is the most high charisma cell in Deltagon, isn't it?
Yes.
Well,
Sure.
the bureaucracy check comes through all right. So with the normal time amount here, it's going to be a few days. I'm going to set that to D3 plus 1 days. How about that? That's a few days. Depending on... So, apparently 3 days until the CAT scan is ready. So far, I mean, you've been medically observing these people, Blair. No one is exhibiting any symptoms of any kind of, like, concussion or personality changes or potential for stroke or anything like that. Everybody seems to behave and feel perfectly normally. Here comes the question.
Think perhaps that the other cultists might have something similar to us? Perhaps they do this for all of them.
Question
Look
is
at-
if they'll tell us.
Maybe this isn't. Do they know we're here on a mission? Probably not. We did tell them we were cultists from that other branch, so
I can see
he might.
Blair filling out the paperwork here, doing like, oh, I have to check for a concussion and other effects on the brain due to...
Somebody broke into my house in the night and did some weird things to me in my sleep.
Exposure to potentially toxic chemicals.
I mean,
don't
I
know.
was injected with something.
I came up with something, yeah.
Attempted lobotomy, maybe?
I mean, yo, bro.
I don't know if
Somebody
you want to
broke into the room I was staying at and injected me with a weird substance.
Would you
Yep.
want to put down on an official record, we've all had an involuntary lobotomy? I'm not sure we want to go that way.
Yeah,
Not
maybe
necessarily
Not
lobotomy,
involuntary.
just some sort of
Attempted.
drug.
Yeah, some sort of drug. Here comes the
Some
next
sort of
question,
drug,
then,
bro.
Blair. Do you want to speed up the procedure and maybe get the CAT scan done tomorrow so you spend the night at the hospital? To do that requires someone to succeed with a charisma check. Charisma times 5. Which in this group is gonna be Talbot, because she is the highest charisma of a 50. It's honestly a bit sad.
Oh, it really is. Please, get me out of the way so I can bring in a character with actual charisma.
Please,
Or you can practice. You go to leadership seminar
You could practice talking to
after
people.
this scenario. If there is an
Yeah,
after
you could
this
actually
scenario.
get better at talking to people.
Yeah.
So what am I rolling?
Just a charisma check, yeah.
Oh god.
See if you can get it expedited. You can get it expedited. Good for you.
I have a
Right.
talker.
So instead of having to wait 3 days, Talbot will engage her best Karen skills. Or what exactly do you do to convince hospital administration that this has to be done tomorrow?
My friend clearly has some sort of brain issue, and these things cannot be delayed. You're doctors. Surely you should know this. How the hell am I, as an engineer, telling you how to do your damn job?
And also
I
law
stare off into the
enforcement and
distance.
FBI and, waving badge around.
This is
Line
my
of
best
duty.
friend here. Are you seriously gonna have her wait to get her brain checked out?
I
You're better.
Well,
Work
for
is
the...
sitting on the bed, staring into the distance with a bajillion yard stare.
See, she's already so far gone. We have to act quickly.
For the best friend argument, you will not get a whole lot of sympathy because every patient is someone's best friend, and you'll just have to wait in line. But for we're federal agents and we're doing an urgent investigation, we need to you can't wait. This is a matter of, I don't know, are we gonna say national security? This is a matter of...
What about giving them $20 and batting my eyelashes?
No, that's not gonna work. But something worked because your charisma pass checked,
Yay! So I guess I did use the, or FBI
It
card, I guess.
would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right. I guess we're going to spend the evening at the hospital, which might feel like a good thing after having spent last night at the compound Morgan is the one who's going to be in a hospital room. The rest of you will have to find a hotel room somewhere. They ain't got the spots for you to put you into a bed here, because you don't have any brain trauma, do you? Or do you?
Can I sleep on the chair?
That's not going to be comfy.
I don't care. That's my friend right there.
I'm just thinking if you want to regain willpower points and whatnot, but you don't because you've already... Oh, fair enough.
I have 14 out of 13. I think I'm good. Oh,
You're tiny. You can just share the bed with me.
slumber party!
Oh my god.
Fenton does need to recuperate willpower points. He also has the problem that he needs to roll a sanity check to be able to sleep. So I'm going to send Fenton off to a motel. Like a low scale, cheap, whatever, just to get some sleep. And we're going to roll sanity for him. To see... Yeah, he can sleep tonight. Lovely. So... There we go. Wow. When he actually gets to sleep, he gets like 1 willpower point back. That's just sad. Alright. For the rest of you, to make a long story short, the night shall pass. You have not seen... Remember when you were in a hospital in St. Louis and you saw an ear popping out of a vent attached to some kind of elongated flesh-like appendage, and then an eye popping up, and yeah. That was the last time you guys were in a hospital. But that doesn't happen this time. So, good for you. A night has passed, and Blair is going to roll a medicine check as Morgan is wheeled into the CAT scan and pictures are taken.
Yay.
And Blair is doing well with that. Look at those go here. All right. Nothing strange turns up at all. Doesn't seem to be a scratch on that brain. It looks perfectly healthy, perfectly normal.
Good. That's good, right?
No, it ain't.
There's nothing wrong with my brain. Yay! They still took them for some reason.
Can I make a call? Please.
You can make a call.
Yay! I'd like to call the bookstore.
Right. We are calling the Hollow Word.
Yay.
And once again, the call is answered by an answering machine. Saying, the bookstore is currently closed. Please leave a message after the beep.
Can I leave a message?
You can leave a message. What message are you leaving?
Okay. I'd like to leave the message. Please tell Steven I'm ready to make a deal for everything. And that's the message.
You left a message.
Yes, I did. Yay.
Did anyone else hear this? Or did you sneak away somewhere to make a phone call that the rest of your friends in the cell did not hear?
I'm sneaking away. They don't need to know what I'm doing.
Well, let's roll for that, shall we?
Yes.
Stealth is your immense forte, isn't it? You're amazing at stealth.
Is this just to like walk away without raising suspicion, or?
Yep.
Okay.
I just need to...
Ah.
Or maybe it's not stealth we're using this time. Are we just talking, doing a blathering thing? Like, I just need to
Yeah.
Okay, then
Yeah.
I'll give you a chance to roll persuade instead of stealth.
Okay.
Yeah, you just coffee. Anybody want a coffee? Donuts, cafeteria, that kind of stuff. That works.
Oh,
better.
I need to go call Sarah. Need to check in with her.
Okay, have fun.
Yep.
Phantom definitely believes you, completely and utterly.
Yeah.
How about Blair?
I mean, he of all people should understand that I have people to talk to.
Yeah, you do.
That I should talk to before I die.
Oh.
Blair actually also believes you because you rolled lower than Blair, so.
I've got
Blair
a daughter.
didn't fail, but yeah. How
Just
about
gotta
Morrigan? You're the one in the bed. Your human is amazing. Okay, you're probably not going to succeed. But if you succeed, you will actually know that Talbot is up to something fishy, because to succeed, you have to roll lower than Talbot anyway.
Oh, wait. Rolling.
Human.
Human.
No, not today. All right.
Have fun, Talbot.
Yeah,
Thanks.
have fun,
I'll
Talbot.
tell Sarah y'all said hi.
Yep. So, Talbot, you have made the call. Blair, what are we concluding from this CAT scan that you have done with Morrigan? If anything.
Well, nothing came up, right?
Nope. Not a dang thing.
I mean, I think Blair knows that like something is still off, but she can't justify getting somebody to cut open Morgan. Not without too many consequences.
There's gonna be consequences, absolutely. I guess however you do it, you can do it at the hospital, and then there's paperwork and paper trails, which is a consequence. And potentially very uncomfortable questions coming from your superiors in the FBI. Or you can try to find a sketchy doctor who is not terribly, shall we say, observant with procedure and has a more relaxed attitude towards legal protocols, and who would do it for you. That may take some time.
I don't think either are worth the risk, especially since technically we all have the line. We can't just open up all four of us.
Could we tell how bad it is by maybe touching hot water? Something to see if we have the same symptoms as the others?
What symptoms?
I mean,
Intolerance to heat, thirst,
Oh, that's
supernatural abilities. Yeah.
I'm assuming there's a sink in the hospital room.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We just have to run it for a bit to get it hot enough.
Yeah, no unusual sensitivities to heat detected. When the water gets the same temperature as you're used to feeling uncomfortable at, then you're feeling uncomfortable. No changes in that regard.
There has to be something we could do. There has to be. Could we call the field office where they kept Spivey to see if they have anything on file?
In Groversville, I mean, that would be Knoxville, Tennessee. You could try, yeah. What are we asking for in terms of files from there?
Anything they have on a potential cure.
On a potential what?
Cure.
Someone sent you the bottle from. Then this was in Tennessee, if you remember. The bottle of detecting agent, the very spray bottle you just used. So someone knows about this stuff. And let's see. You remember the special agent in charge in Knoxville, James Derringer, who certainly is aware of Delta Green clearance. So he could be a person to talk to, absolutely.
I'd like to call him.
Very well. Roll a luck check. Look at that. Apparently, Derringer lifts the phone handle. Derringer?
Hey, Derringer. This is Agent Zona. I wanted to talk to you about the material that was causing so much trouble a few months back. Did you ever discover a cure or a preventative or any strange symptoms?
Me personally, did not experience any strange symptoms. No, I'm happy to say. As for Billy Ray Spivey and his girlfriend, I mean, Billy Ray, we have unfortunately talked about that, haven't we? And you saw the strange symptoms that he exhibited, but beyond that, not particularly. No. Develop a cure. I think this is something that you should. I was put in contact with a friendly who was doing the lab work. If
Good.
you ask ACell politely, if you ask your superiors politely with the same clearance as yourselves, then perhaps they will be kind enough to forward any lab results this friendly has produced.
All right. Thank you.
Very well. Click.
So I suppose now we have to either call ACell and risk them seeing through our lie, or we go on our own.
Mm. Do we want to call ACell while we still have whatever? We still don't know whatever the things have done to our brains.
The thing with calling ACell is that they'll almost certainly call for our termination if they figure out.
Yeah, they're going to kill us.
Yeah.
We should probably not involve them in this.
Yeah. But we don't really have anywhere else to go with this. I mean, none of us are good at lying. That's clear. We could try to wait to see if anything happens. I could try to, I don't know. We could wait and hope this thing just goes away? Or something. But maybe we should just think on calling ACell. Because we only get one shot at it.
We'll put
Yeah.
it to the side for now and keep it in the back of our minds.
Hmm.
So how about we meet back again in 2 hours, maybe? Then make a decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sounds good.
sounds good to me.
All right. So, doesn't really seem like we have a conclusive decision here.
The decision is think on it.
Think on it.
But the brains that they took from us and put back.
We have 2 hours to think on it.
Using the brains they took from you and put back.
And hope that something happens. Good or bad. Maybe, I don't know, God will come down and cure it all in those 2 hours. Something.
Maybe God will.
Maybe the Earth will implode in those 2 hours and we'll never have to make a decision. Just,
What, you want the Nemesis thing to crash into the earth?
it's better
Strike
than
us all
asking,
down in its
Better than
eldest glory.
better than asking ACell to kill all of our friends and family.
Oh, your friend is dead. He's dead.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
it's all gonna be great. 2 hours
I think
of
we
just
should just
hanging
continue to do our
around,
job.
hoping that everything will be fine. Will everything be fine?
Probably not, but we can at least pretend it is.
There's gonna be a lot of pretending today, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, how are you spending your 2 hours? Fenton frantically over a book? I don't know. Correct me later, Darian. Talbot, Blair, Morgan. I mean, you're officially released from hospital by now, probably, because
Alright,
you're cleared. The CAT scan clears you.
I'll be doing push-ups in the corner.
All right.
I'll
Yeah,
be walking
physical-
around. Sorry. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I'll be walking around on my own, trying to clear my head.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't want people around me right now.
Claire's just pacing, trying to think.
And it's going great, isn't it? The thinking part, I mean.
No, it isn't.
It's gonna be a long 2 hours, I have a feeling, for some of you. I mean, you're trying to
Up, down, up.
reconcile
18,
yourself
up,
with
down.
the horrors that be, and yeah. Talbot, you're walking around. Let's put this to. We're in Tulsa, right? We're just walking around. Some of you are in the hospital. Some of you are walking around. It's a little bit chaotic. So we're in Tulsa. And as you're out there walking around, Talbot will recognize someone.
I do. Ah, yes.
It's Mr. Corso.
Can I walk up to him?
You absolutely can. He's coming down the street. He has a satchel over the shoulder, a brown satchel. He is looking up towards you, and he can recognize you, of course, and you recognize him. And he corrects his glasses a little bit as he looks at you. Special
Fancy
Agent
seeing you
Talbot.
here. Mr. Corso, fancy seeing you here.
You've made several phone calls to a mutual friend of ours who also happens to be my supervisor in certain capacities.
Yes. There is an urgent matter. I would like to make a deal.
You're very eager to make deals, aren't you, Special Agent Talbot? I
have
believe
people to protect.
our mutual friend already accepted one deal from you. I don't know.
I have people to protect, and I'm willing to do a lot for them.
Clearly. I'm not sure what I should do, or even why I should do for you. What do you want from me? In my capacity as an associate of our mutual acquaintance.
I want for my friends and their families to be protected from harm. In exchange, I offer everything I have. My soul, my loyalty. I will be who you need me to be, who you want me to be. So long as they and their families are safe, I will do what you ask.
Huh. That's quite the reward, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that mean that you are, in a word, changing allegiance?
My allegiance is to my friends. That is all.
Oh, but it won't be anymore, will it? And he just kind of tugs a little bit on his glasses. If you are going to do everything that I want, then your allegiance is to me, and through me, to our mutual associate.
You are correct. And through our deal, they will be protected. You can do whatever else you want with the world. I won't make a peep about it.
Do
You say
whatever
jump.
else we want to do about the world.
So long as they and their family are protected from harm. You have me.
What a very interesting proposal, and very attractive proposal.
Thank you.
We might need that in writing in some fashion. Maybe formalize it in some way.
Please.
How can I help you? What
Immediately,
services can I provide to you?
immediately, we have an issue. We suspect, no, we know, we have been infected with protomatter. And I've seen what it can do. I don't want them to die. I don't want them to be in pain. I would like it to be remove or put in a mode of stasis, just so that it doesn't hurt them or kill them.
Our mutual associate, as it were, mentioned your work in Groversville, was it?
Yeah.
Small place. I tried to look it up, but apparently it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Something about a biohazard?
Yes. I believe there was an outbreak of protomatter in the water, and a lot of people died.
That particular type of substance is not quite my area of expertise necessarily, but I'm not saying I can't do anything about this. I know some things about what you have run into, and, or rather, who you have run into. And let's just say that our group and their group, we have been walking on parallel paths, not intersecting, not coming into conflict, and we have preferred it that way. Your little group of green men, it can become a nuisance every once in a while in New York City, of course. Nothing we can't deal with. We just don't want attention from your group. If perhaps, since you have now promised to do anything, maybe there's a way for you to find out if your group... I understand that it's a highly secretive cabal, and it might not be easy for you to gain such information, but if you do happen upon any plans, stratagems, or operational concepts directed towards Mr. LC's and my colleagues, then we would consider that you're working towards fulfilling your end of the agreement.
Yeah, of course.
As for the group that you have run into, you see, I don't want to necessarily have our lines crossed. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't want our group and their group to end up in conflict with each other. Not because I don't think we can't handle it, but rather because it would be a nuisance and distracting from what we're trying to do. So, if I'm going to help you in some way, it has to be in a way that doesn't track back to our group.
Yes. I understand. What do you need me to do?
Well, I can try and look through my assets and see if there is anything I can assist you with to gather information, maybe? You'd mentioned specifically not getting your companions into harm. Have they been harmed? They are in harm's way? Please.
I strongly believe that they are. We had a previous teammate who was infected by protomatter, and she died horrifically within a few days or hours after her infection.
Well, that sounds just terrible, doesn't it?
It was.
We must not let that happen again, must we?
Cannot. No.
Well, we shall try to make sure that it doesn't happen again, sure, won't we? Again, I can't say that I'm an expert in the study of protomatter. My field of interest lies elsewhere. Have you heard of hypergeometry?
A friend of mine has mentioned it a few times. I'm not familiar with it myself, though.
You wouldn't be. It's a very well guarded secret. Only those who are worthy are introduced to the inner circle of knowledge. It is not for those of a frail mind.
I understand.
I could arrange for a meeting between yourself and those who are responsible for the current situation. I don't know that such a meeting will necessarily help you. They don't think like a normal human does. It's possible that you will not be able to gain the information you seek, or I suppose the agreement you seek, by trying to interact with them, communicate with them.
Would this meeting impact the agreement we would have?
You said that I have to do work to protect your friends or your family. That's part of the agreement, isn't it?
My friends and their family.
And their family. How extended is this family going to be? If we talk about your cousins, your second cousins or third, I don't know, cousins of the third degree, we can get a very expansive definition of family. Anyone who shares your DNA.
I'd say family within the sense of who they live with, who their unit.
Who they live with.
Are you familiar with the Oikos from Ancient Greece?
What was that?
Are you familiar with the Oikos from Ancient Greece?
Yes, of course.
I would use that as the definition for family.
I see. So, all those who live in the houses.
Yeah.
Of course, in ancient Greece, that included servants and such, but I expect you don't have...
We do not get paid enough for serving.
I expected as much. This also means that your siblings, your parents... I understand Fenton is going to become a father, isn't he?
Yes.
So the child will be safe, but how about your connections, Talbot? You have Mr. James, your father, your mother. They would not be included in this agreement. They don't live in your house.
Yes. But
Very
Finley
well.
and Sarah would be included in this. And
Well, we'll have to define
worry.
that more clearly.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
so that requires me, of course, to step in if anything were to happen to endanger the aforementioned list of parties, which I'm happy to do. I have to protect my investment, don't I? You are my reward, aren't you?
yes.
Yes. Perhaps we should celebrate with a dinner at some point, and
That would be lovely.
I'm curious about your taste in literature and other things, but enough small talk for now. No, what I'm thinking of here is how do I intercede vis-a-vis the other faction that you're currently dealing with without causing rifts between that hostility between that faction and my own group of associates, because we don't want that. We just want your people here protected, yes?
Yeah. Yes. I actually realized I may have something they might be interested in. I was present during the discovery of the bodies in their St. Louis base. I suspect we're talking about Enolsis. And I happen to know where 60 of their realizers went. So, if you want to exchange
see.
that,
I'm not I don't know if they care that much about that part. There is, I did some homework before I came here. There is, about 100 members on the compound at the moment? Each of them having a realizer?
yeah, they may have plenty already.
I haven't actually touched one of these realizers yet, and I'd be quite interested in studying it myself. But my point is, we need to dissuade this faction from harming you. One tool I could put at your disposal for this, as part of my end of the agreement, is to open up a channel of communication with the, shall we say, primary agents behind Enolsis. But I cannot guarantee results doing that, because I do not have power or sway over these agents. They have their own agenda, which I am not privy to, and they have their own way of thinking, which may be too strange for you. So what I'm saying is that if you are sitting in a, shall we say, interview situation or negotiating context, in a conference room where deals are made, the equivalent of, then how would you even be able to understand their motivations and how would you be able to make them understand your motivations, and why should they care about your motivations, and how could you produce a proposal to them that would acceptable to yourself, be amenable to them, and also mutually intelligible?
I could offer them others in exchange for my own people.
Others.
Other people.
Hmm. Are we sure they are in need of others?
I'm not quite sure, but they were quick to infect us. I will have to discuss with them, of course.
Yes, You have landed yourself in quite a mess, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Well, I shall certainly try to, assist you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see him racking his brain. This is clearly... Well, it's a tough nut even for him to crack this. I connect, and I'll say that I know that some people are more agitated than others. I can say that me and my associates have nothing to do with it, and we are not concerned for ourselves. But that might be because we have a unique position in this. But the object known as Nemesis is obviously directly connected to the case you're working on, connected to Enolsis and the agents above, behind, in the shadows of Enolsis. I'm not entirely sure of what they want to accomplish with Nemesis. It's not, as far as I'm concerned, time for the world to die yet.
They spoke of a new age.
Of course they do.
With...
They are members of a cult.
Yes. What about our current age defines it as an age?
Me and my group of associates are not interested in such divisions. The time scales that we think in are such that it matters little what you would call the modern era, I suppose. The point is, as you mentioned, whatever we want to do with this world requires there to be a world to do things with. So if their actions here are going to have an effect on that, then they will have aggravated me and my associates. We do not intend the world to end until we say it's allowed to end. Now, I will say this. There are great intelligences out there. Beings of unfathomable power that existed in this universe long before humanity learned to walk upright and will keep existing in this universe long after humanity has been turned to dust at its own hand or some other. The Earth is not humanity's. It's theirs. And our existence is like the blink of an eye for them. It doesn't mean that all of them see eye to eye, to the extent that any of them have eyes or audio, visual receptors. And their designs might run counter to each other at times. You've seen it, haven't you?
I've seen a lot of things. Could you please be
no.
more specific?
Nemesis specifically.
Yes, I did see it.
Yes. And that is just a herald of even more horrid things. A harbinger, you could say. That thing could bring about the end of the world if it came close enough. It has brought about the end of other worlds.
Could it be that Enolsis has found some way to survive whatever Nemesis would do to us?
You're thinking in too small terms still, Special Agent Talbot. Enolsis is inconsequential. It's just a tool to put some faces on this planet that looks appealing enough between the agents we're talking about and their manipulations of this world that you claim is yours. Enolsis certainly has some interesting rituals, some interesting tools at its disposal. But ultimately the organization itself is a simple tool, and any Enolsis member is expendable. You've had a lot to take in now, haven't you, Special Agent Talbot?
Yes. Forgive me. I haven't quite delved into this subject.
Oh, dear Talbot. Dear Talbot. Can I call you Phryne?
Of course.
I'm Scott.
Nice to meet you.
When this little business is over, let's, Can I ask you out to dinner, perhaps?
Of course. I would be honored.
Very good. It'll be a pleasure. Here's my number. He's going to give you a card, and it's going to contain information for a cell phone, even. He has a Motorola flip phone. Fancy schmancy.
Ooh. Yes. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Phryne. And I hope to see you in the not too distant future.
Yeah.
Think on it. Do you really want to speak to those agents or not? It could be arranged, but I'm not so sure it will have the result you would like to see.
Yeah. I fear I am not knowledgeable enough to represent my own interests to this group. And
Clearly
I
not.
fear that if I fail, I will lose them.
That is a distinct possibility. He tilts his head a little bit. Guaranteeing the safety must not come to harm. We need to elaborate that the clause containing those sentences, because if I have to work to make sure that you and your other 3 colleagues never come to harm in any of the businesses you get involved with, and you do get busy, don't you? That's a lot of work on my part.
Yes. I understand. And I am willing to similarly exert myself on your behalf.
Very good. Well, we have a starting point for an agreement at the very least.
Yeah.
Think on my offer and talk to your colleagues.
Oh well. Thank you.
And so he will leave you for now. Talbot completely ready to sell her soul to the highest bidder.
Oh, not just my soul, everything. My mortgage, my car.
God.
Perfect safety.
Yep.
Got some lore out of that.
You did
Yep.
get some information out of that. Where are we meeting once this... I mean, the time right now is... As you have done the pacing for a couple of hours, it's actually going to be about lunch.
You know what? This is a discussion I think it's best done with drive-through in a park. It's a serious discussion, y'all.
Yeah, drive through, you're getting, oh, are we doing McDonald's? Or is it Burger King? Or is it some other outlet? Dairy Queen.
I don't know. What does everybody want? I'm paying.
I don't know.
We all just drew a blank, huh?
Food.
I
Got
mean,
it.
I just got done doing like, what was the number? 50 cents
Yep.
of burpees. I am kind of hungry. I would just request that whatever you order have sufficient amount of protein in it to replace whatever I've lost doing that. Thank you.
Would 20 chicken nuggets suffice?
Oh, sure.
Okay, I guess we're going to Burger King. I don't know what denominations their chicken is in, but get plenty of it.
Very well. Having a conversation in a park over some wrinkly paper bags with some pop, which apparently is called soda south of the border. I'm shocked. And whatever fried, fattied, salted proteins and carbs you have decided to put into your bodies.
Judge, this is a life or death situation.
Yes.
We need a treat.
Yeah, they took our brains, bro.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to have fast food over this.
This is
Absolutely.
the healthiest thing we've done in a while.
Must be. So what will Talbot share with the group?
I'll share that we could meet with the members of whoever controls the proto matter, and we could potentially negotiate getting it out.
You sure?
Yep, that's a thing we can do.
What do you
However,
mean
they
that's
are
something we can do?
they're not entirely, shall we say, as they don't follow the same logic we do. So, yeah,
So yeah?
I mean,
it could be a bit difficult.
why do you think they remove it from us if they were the ones who put it in us in the first place?
Well, negotiation usually comes with I do something, you do something. And we'll just have to do a something that makes them want to remove it.
Okay. I'll trust your judgment on this.
Thank you.
How did you exactly come to this conclusion? Because I don't believe we knew this this information prior.
I had a nice long walk, and then I just cracked open a phone book and I found some numbers, did some calls, and I just talked to people.
Really now?
Yes, you can get a lot of places by just opening up a phone book and complaining to enough people.
Sounds about right.
See, Morgan gets it. We got the green box key by drunkenly calling a bunch of people that one time. Remember?
Because we did, but this is a completely different matter.
It's worth a shot, all right. We shouldn't look a gift meeting in the mouth.
Again, I trust your judgment. I'll do whatever
You, Morgan?
you think is the right course of action.
Yes.
Again,
course of
they have-
action.
Again, we're in a bit of a strained situation right now, and any solution offered is I'll accept, but it's not like I have any ideas.
Yeah, I mean, we can't exactly be picky with how we're going to survive this. We've all got families to go back to and lives to live. Worth a shot.
Mhm.
What is the shot that you want to take?
Are we in agreement that we should try meeting with the...
And I told you, I'll do whatever you want.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it. Should I step away to call Gart to let him know?
You're gonna...
I don't know how am I supposed to let him know that this was the meeting, that we've agreed to it.
Okay.
Should I just leave another voicemail that says we've agreed to a meeting?
Alright. Interesting.
Yes. I don't know how else to do this whole sold my soul thing.
Yeah. I hear you. you're going to have an answering machine and you're going to leave a message saying it has been agreed, apparently. Right?
Yes.
That's about the long
I
and short
guess.
of it.
Yeah. Yep.
Or maybe he actually picks up the phone on the other end. Yeah, let's do that. Just to make things easier.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's picking up the phone at the other end.
Oh,
Blimey!
Hello.
My
God,
dear.
I know we just talked, and I hate to be such a bother, but I don't quite know how else to communicate this. My associates and I have agreed to meet with the associates of the other group.
I
When
see.
and how should we facilitate this meeting?
Well, isn't that a good question? Yes. We need to do this in a proper fashion. I would not recommend doing it during the day necessarily. It's probably better to do it at night. Yes.
Understood.
You can hear flipping of pages on the other line, on the other end of the line, like literally flipping of pages. Really, machine. I have to restart my PDF. Because Scott Corso is not the only one flipping pages here. There we go. Okay. Right. Well, we should be able to do this close by the compound, but not too close. It helps that the compound is here, but we don't want to disturb the local guards, do we? I would want to have access to certain materials that I'm going to procure. It's going to take us about an hour or so to do the work. We may want to have the agents that you want to speak to in somewhat secluded area. I'm not sure it would be good for your mental health to see them directly.
Understood.
They are not something. They are not of the nature that you would have seen before, I don't think.
Understood.
And after that, you will simply have to ask your questions, I suppose. And hope for the best.
Yes. I fear that is all we can do at this point, but, well, aside from the meeting.
That is indeed all you can do. How about midnight south of the compound? So we're away from their main entrance.
Understood?
Do you want to do this tonight or tomorrow night? I think it would, he looks at the time, I should be able to get the materials necessary together for tonight, but might be easier to do it the next night. Who knows? Though I have
I
a
think
feeling
we
that
need
you
to
have a pressing sense of urgency, perhaps?
Yes, I do. Sadly.
Understandable. We shall try for tonight, then. Very well.
Thank you.
I will call you at 11 with directions to the site of the negotiations.
Thank you.
Will all your friends be in attendance, or will it just be you?
I believe we will all be in attendance.
Very well. Well, I'll see you then.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right. So, what is the next step?
Everybody get some rest because we are going to be back up again at 11.
Okay.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
Sleepy time.
Nobody's gonna engage in their hobbies, jumping up and down, flapping their arms. No, I don't know. Read weird books.
Sit in the armchair, drink some coffee.
There's gonna be a lot of coffee on Morrigan's part, isn't it? Like lots of coffee. I have a feeling.
Yep.
That there's always a lot. How are you resting if you're drinking all that coffee, Morrigan?
I don't know. Don't know.
Yes.
You put melatonin in like coffee?
Walmart
How's that gonna work?
melatonin.
I don't even know how that's gonna work.
What?
I'm just
Somebody
increasing-
exchange all of my caffeine with decaf without my knowledge?
I'm just like slowly crushing up Walmart melatonin pills to put in your coffee until you fall asleep. I think that's how we do it.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Oh, yeah.
There will be one more item of information for you this day, and it's going to come from Fenton, actually. Darian, why aren't you here? Oh, we know why you're not here. It's, he gets a phone call, and it's from his friend at NASA.
Ooh.
I'm sure you have absolutely no reason to worry about that. Yeah, apparently Fenton will, as he has talked to his friend at NASA, will get back to you and say, Nemesis, this object, astronomers have recalculated the trajectory and intercept equations, and the object is no longer on the same course. This won't be announced to the press, but the new trajectory reveals that the object will pass within the orbit of the asteroid belt. It appears that the object is on an arcing trajectory. The closer it approaches the solar system's orbital plane, the more its trajectory deviates towards the inner solar system. If it continues to deviate, it will pass close to the Earth. Perhaps so close that the object's gravitational forces will drag the Earth and the Moon from their orbits and send both plunging through the solar system.
That would not be fun.
It is 4 months away now. The astronomers call this object Kali now, after the Hindu goddess of death.
Oh no.
They have
Oh.
no idea of how or why the trajectory has changed and deviated, because normally when an object is going through space, it doesn't change course unless there is a force acting upon it. And the gravitational forces acting upon Kali, or Nemesis, are not strong enough to explain the deviation. So there's
So we're
something
fighting.
else pulling on this object. Something else that has, as of yet, not been explained.
So we're fighting for 4 more months.
I think we're fighting for a good deal more than that.
Look, I don't know about you, but as I am, I cannot create a force strong enough, none of us can, to counteract that.
Yeah, no. I'm just a guy, man.
Great.
Yeah,
So who can?
I don't know. Maybe our friends, but they don't want a fight. We can't disrupt their plan. But we can survive. That is what we can do. So, we get 4 months to say goodbye. Let's make sure we get that. I'll be damned if I die without telling the people I care most about how much they need me.
Oh, well, I'm in your corner, I guess.
Thank you. So,
How has this force been created?
for all intents and purposes, it seems to be a fictitious force. It just like
Do you think they're
centrifugal.
using the crystals?
I don't know.
Like, power. I mean, there was that one guy, Slime Jesus. What was his name? Valiant?
Ronald Valiant.
Yeah, him. Yeah, he had some strange powers too. He was using force to push people back. He was throwing people everywhere. Maybe it's like that, but like on a larger scale.
These two are no doubt related, but we'll be fine. We just need to get to that meeting and we'll have 4 more months.
Yeah, like this feels like it's converting some energy into like what? Force-based power? I don't know. Maybe those guys are controlling the planet. Who knows?
Blair? Any opinions?
Not really. I mean, that's clearly something supernatural pulling it, but other than that, I'm not sure.
We can focus more on that when we're not actively dying. So.
You're not actively dying at the moment. All of you have your full hit points.
Yeah,
We are
we're
always
passively
actively dying. We're just doing it a bit faster with this thing in our
Schrodinger's
head.
death, really.
You know what? Rumor has it that Darian will be back next session. And since we're at a very pivotal moment here in terms of decision making about what to do next, I feel like we could pause the story here. It's a little bit early compared to normal, but not just a little bit. And that allows him to catch up with the story, and
He gets
maybe
his 2 cents because
Yeah,
you're about to
he'll
talk
offer
to
2
random
cents.
ouch creatures.
And perhaps he has his own ideas, and maybe he will just shoot Talbot in the face and Morgan in the face because they're security hazards and he's just containing everything. Who knows what he will do when he gets back? Or maybe he has the brainwave that gives you a solution to everything. Or maybe he will just come here to go to the strange negotiations Talbot have set up and immediately lose all his sanity points. We don't know, because that is the nature of Delta Green. But I do want to thank the audience who've tuned in to this session. And please, in a week from now, come back here again. And you will get all the communications from ACell if you follow this channel. And if you go on YouTube, you have subscriptions and bell icons and everything like that to maintain communications with ACell. Also, chats, comments, etc., etc. So we will see you in a week from now. This is ZCell signing off for now.